We are Exosphere. I'm Jackie. This is Steve, and you are listening to the Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Anyway, so let's talk about Exosphere. New single, Beg Toward the Sky is out. Now that it's done, how do you feel about it? Or now that it's out there, how do you feel about it? And are you satisfied with the outcome?
Incredibly happy with it. I think that can speak to both of us here. We've had this song for a good bit of time. When we released our first album, Nightmares, this was one of the songs we also had. We were working on that didn't quite make it onto that one. Mm-hmm. And so we've had it for a good amount of time. And I think that gave us the ability to really finally craft the song in all the ways necessary to push it to that next level. And I think this is definitely our best song that we've seen come to fruition.
Nice. Hey, there's Chris.
I'm here. Sorry, I jumped in. You guys keep going because, I just jumped in. So I'll catch up here. Sorry.
So was this like one of the ones that didn't make Nightmares or Nightmares?
Yeah, it's, I guess like making it isn't quite the right word. It just didn't fit the feeling and the mood of the other songs
too, because it kind of had that concept just different to Nightmares.
Right.
Because Nightmares was just kind of a bunch of bad trips put into music, and then this one is just kind of the beginning of a story. So
yeah, it definitely had its own self-contained like idea that was being sought throughout the song. And so for our upcoming album that we've got here, we decided to expand on that idea within that song and make it a full concept album.
Gotcha.
Concept albums.
That's
so
right.
Maybe Bruce asked this question.
I did.
What's the... Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Gene, he's getting attacked by Gene and Paul back there. But you guys look pretty young. Where did you get the idea for a concept album?
So this is kind of the combination of both of us, kind of just a little bit of screwing around and a little bit of, oh my gosh, this is kind of a cool idea. Like we've calmed down from the tripping our minds out days, and now we'll just, sit with a bowl or whatever and hang out. And
love it.
With this one, we were just like, okay, so we've got this robot character here, and it's suddenly alive and has humanity. What's the first thing you would do if you were just like in an instant a grown adult and it was like, like panic noises and stuff like that? And so we basically sought that vibe for that song, and it pushed us in a lot more of a hardcore and aggressive kind of direction for this next one.
Yeah,
it kind of seems to me like a mixture of like I don't know what they call it, like New York avant-garde meets like trip metal or like stoner rock. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Like almost like Andy Warhol meets metal, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
we definitely got like those art influences because like we've been listening to a lot of shoegaze and noise rock, which comes all from No Wave and Glenn Branca, who is like just the king of abstract shit in music. So
yeah, I think a lot of people too, when they talk about shoegaze and stuff, they often forget to talk about the impact that the Velvet Underground had in starting that whole movement.
Oh yeah,
you listen to some of that old Velvet Underground, and if they were to play that right now, it would still be just as relevant to that genre as it was then. Really,
100%. Yeah, no, Velvet Underground. They were like doing great stuff with modulation and walls of distortion and reverb. It was great.
Oh yeah, it was just unbelievable.
So I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna just say this.
Sorry.
I've heard of the Velvet Underground and I know who they are, but I can't tell you that I've heard anything.
Oh, fuck off.
No, I'm being.
Fuck you.
I'm being.
Can you join me in just raising both middle fingers to Bruce?
Hey now, I'm going to be the one editing this, so we'll take those fingers down now because I can make everyone look bad.
Okay, no, Bruce,
No,
are
I
you being
honestly-
serious?
I am being serious. I know who they are, and I may have come across them on like a classic rock station, but I don't know that I could even name a Velvet Underground song.
Heroin, Waiting for the Man,
No,
White Light, White Heat,
no. See, I've heard those
Pale
songs,
Blue Eyes,
heard of those songs, but not.
Sweet Jane.
That's
You've definitely
Lou Reed,
heard
though,
Sweet
isn't it?
Jane. No,
that
that's
Lou
the Velvet
Reed?
Underground.
Oh, okay. Well, then I know.
Yeah, Lou Reed is the Velvet Underground. Okay.
All right.
I was just
Whatever.
like, wait a second here.
All right. Never mind. Anyway.
Yeah. But like, if you listen to the first time I heard Heroin, it tripped me right out. I was like, what am I listening to? They have those big drones in the background, no drummer, just like banging on shit. And like, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, they definitely encompassed a lot of that, like, no wave kind of stuff. Just very not, like, known to Western music. Like, interesting, odd concept. I love it.
Yeah. But like, I'm not saying you guys sound like them, but like, when I listened to the song, it kind of reminded me of like this New York art scene meets really high stoners. It was like
Mastodon.
I don't even know how to describe it other than that. Really, that's just how I kind of.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah.
I get a little bit of Mastodon.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that is definitely a shared influence of both of ours.
Oh, yeah.
And I think with this album, we definitely wear that a good bit more on our sleeve with the pacing of the riffs overall, as well as the forms of a lot of the songs.
Oh, yeah.
Chris, have you heard of Mastodon?
Yes. The answer is I've heard of them.
There you go.
You guys look really high. Are you super high right now?
You know,
Usually-
I can't lie to you. There's like a 50% chance that anytime you're talking with both of us in the same room, we're going to be pretty fucking blazed.
All right, so I'm gonna. That's great, but I'm gonna ask this question: what is it like writing songs, tripping balls, as you said, as opposed to just sitting with a bowl? Is it completely different?
It is 100% a different mindset. It feels like with the first album, those songs kind of just expelled out of us. Like, we were writing so many songs really fast with that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and they were all the same kind of vibe that we just like incessantly kept playing and wanting to perform.
Right.
With this next one, now that we've kind of got that out of our system more or less, it feels like we can be more consciously focused on what the music is going to sound like with purpose, as opposed to this having to be the natural expression of the band at that point.
So, did you ever write songs when you were tripping and then like come to and go, "What the fuck did I just do?"
Yeah.
So many times you'll be like tripping and you'll be like, oh, I'm writing the greatest thing ever. This sounds so cool. And, you know, like textures, but you listen back to it and it's just like, what the fuck? Like,
I think we had a song like "As Above, So Below" that
yeah.
we made after like we were both off some shit.
Yeah.
And it was self-indulgent stoner rock. It was like 6 minutes. There was a pointless like dual guitar solo. It was whack.
Yeah.
But
Did it ever
to
make
be
it in?
fair, you do that when you're sober too. You know.
I mean, hey, fair enough. I guess the taste is the important part there.
Right.
I love that couch. That couch looks like
Right?
comfortable.
It's a nice one. And I had it for about 7 years in my family. This is second generation house now. So
This is what I'm thinking. Like, are you guys roommates by chance?
we're not. No.
Ah, okay. Okay.
All right, what were you thinking? I want to hear it.
Because I was like,
Say that.
well, because they look like so comfortable together, like they've been hanging out together for their entire lives.
Oh,
And they're sitting on what I would call a typical band couch. You know, like
yeah.
every person that's young that's in a band has a hand-me-down couch from their parents or from someone.
All right.
And it's always like super comfortable. So that's, you know.
Can I say something without being insulting?
Yes.
I'm thinking it's like
To me or to them?
to them, really. But I'm thinking it's sort of like a Beavis and Butthead couch.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's really accurate.
Yeah. We
Right?
would
Sorry.
not,
I don't want to
disagree
offend. I'm just thinking, you guys are watching clips of Winger right now, probably.
Yeah, just background, got to keep the hype up. Yeah.
But they're gonna change the title of the song to "She's Only 18."
Right. Hold on 1 second. So that is a weird thing, right? So I think that was a great song in the 80s, but that I listened to Sirius XM when I was listening to Hair Metal recently, Hair Metal Nation or whatever it's called, Hair Nation. And the DJ was talking about he saw them play it just recently, but now he's changed it to "She's Only 70" because he's so conscious of the movement we're now in where you can't say anything. Because that song would never be allowed to be played 20, I mean,
Bruce
nowadays, right? That song would never be allowed to be played this year, right? I mean, these days.
Yeah, no, that and like most of the just like cock rock kind of shit from the 80s, like, all the Motley Crue and Poison, like so much of that stuff is like morally questionable.
At best.
Even
yeah, exactly. Some of it, just like send them to jail.
And it's a sign of the times for sure. So it's like the same grain of salt that you take with like films. The further back you go.
Oh my God. My wife was like, "You have to watch Dirty Dancing." And I'd never seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it and I'm like, this is a movie about a pedophile.
Yeah.
And it's told as a love story. I'm like, this is kind of weird.
Right. That glamorization of it, of really, really young girls is a very strange artifact to have seen carried on so long through cinema.
Oh, yeah.
But nobody thought twice back in the 80s and the 90s or early 90s, right? I mean, it was just the thing.
Right. Yeah. And it was just so normal and part of it.
Yeah,
I was talking to my parents specifically about it, and just like that idea wasn't like even something that crossed their mind at the time. Like, but my mom was Catholic, so she was like, she meets the right person when she's 17, she may as well be married,
Right. But I remember listening to like Christine 16 from the guys behind me from Kiss, and it was just perfectly normal. It was played on the radio, and everybody said, and now that song is like, holy shit.
Especially when you know the story of Kiss.
Yeah.
You're like, that's even worse.
I mean, one of the lines in the song is like, when I saw her coming out of school that day, I knew I had to have her. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not now.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck no. You could never do that now. Thankfully.
Right.
Thankfully, as a supporter of women's rights, I don't want that around anymore.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm glad we have progressed as a society. All of that, like, yeah, very good that we were not in the 80s. I can just say that.
Well, Dirty Dancing is a classic movie, but I watched it and I was just like, this guy's like in his 30s.
Yeah.
And he's banging a 16-year-old behind her parents' back, and her dad's like, "Oh, I'm mad." Like,
so lyric content aside, I'm going to say something controversial here. I think the 80s were the pinnacle of music.
Yeah, that's pretty fair, I would say.
Lots of just the best music. Like, you got Megadeth, Metallica, you got like death metal Imogen, like,
right.
You
and
lots, and then you got.
I grew up on the hair metal scene, and I grew up, spending a lot of time in LA, and yeah, it was very misogynistic, but if you take out lyrics wise, it was great music, I think.
And good players, really good players.
Oh yeah, you got Lynch and Dokken, who just like slayed like most of the shredders from the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I saw George Lynch live in Vegas last year.
I bet that was awesome.
Oh, dude, it was crazy. It was like he opened for Dokken, and then he was supposed to play with Dokken for a few songs. But like, I watched him. I forget what his band is called now. It's George Lynch and something. But he played, and I was just like, holy fuck, I'd never heard a guitar player with that much feel and that much precision at all, ever. Like, it was just unreal.
Yeah.
And then Dokken came on, and he was so bad, I just left. I couldn't even stick around. But
yeah, Lynch Mob is like some great music. George Lynch is just like, he's kind of like Eddie Van Halen 2.0. He's got the feel of Eddie, but definitely he's got more of the like neoclassical shred kind of mentality, while still obviously blues influence.
Yeah, it was crazy. So good.
So what's next for Exosphere? What do you guys have? Are you taking this out on the road, or?
Yeah, we're trying to play out a few shows throughout the summer. We've got our first one starting at beginning of July here at Magoo's out in Chicago. Any of y'all nearby, check that out. And we'll be playing some more shows throughout, so you can keep an ear out for that. We're looking to get this album finished, recorded, and sent out. Looking for a release date tentatively end of the year or early 2023, which feels fake to say.
Yeah, hopefully end of the year.
But here we are in the middle of, in the end of May, beginning of June here. This year's flown by.
It is. It's absolutely true.
It's been going by real fast, and we've spent a lot of it already. Like, when did we start working on this album?
Probably like
January?
Yeah, right after we finished with Nightmares. So like February 2021. It's been over a year.
Oh, wow.
Wow. It's a long writing process. That's a lot of weed.
There's fuel of multiple kinds that goes into that kind of writing, you know?
And a lot of time sitting on the couch contemplating, right?
Yeah. Sometimes the most important work is doing nothing at all.
Yeah. Hey, I often think the most important part of songwriting is putting the song down and just walking away and letting it play in your head.
Yes.
And that's
because
absolutely...
that's when the ideas come.
Yes.
100%. You start to kind of like, you hear the song in your head and then you kind of put layers on it and kind of play with it. And then, next time you go sit down with your guitar or whatever, you kind of know what to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you guys write all together
Absolutely.
or like in the same room, or is it more the efforts of one particular member?
A little bit of both.
So me and Steve are definitely the foremost songwriters for the group. We usually jam out riffs on our own. So either I or Steve will bring in something to the group, and then we can work with it from there and kind of flesh out the song form and everything with it. So the ultimate songwriting is collaborative at that point, but it almost always starts from either me or Steve bringing like a minute or a minute and a half material, and we're like, okay, let's make this into something.
Yeah, like you kind of get an idea and then you just build around it till you have like a full song, and eventually it's like, so much of our music, it's just 50% me, 50% Jackie. I'll bring a cool riff and Jackie will be like, oh, if we change these notes around, it'll fit perfectly with this thing I got. And then we already have like half a song right there.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, you guys are getting together and bouncing ideas off each other like the old school way and not like emailing stuff back and forth, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think that is a big advantage of how we've been able to operate so far, is we are able to just do everything together and make sure that the information exchange is accurate between each other, and that what we're playing is complementing and won't be misconstrued in any possible way.
And also, I think in the end, it makes it more organic and more accessible, right? Because I think you can feel that or hear it.
Yeah, exactly. We definitely want all of our music to have that like real organic feel to it.
And big props to Billy Barnett for the production on that single there.
Yeah.
He helped produce the newest Yob album, Our Raw Heart, right?
He's done all of Yob's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Billy Barnett is like Yob's guy for mixing, it seems, and working with him has just been amazing because we worship Yob. So like just working with the guy because there's a lot of albums that sound really good, but Yob's albums always just have like this feel to them, this atmosphere. So there is no one in the world I would have rather worked with than Billy Barnett for this.
That's right.
How did you guys end up meeting up with him?
Oh, we just love Yob, and we were like, who produced the newest album? Because their newest album, Our Raw Heart, is just such like a flawless sounding album. It's like perfectly gritty. So we just looked up who did it, and we found, I think it was Gung Ho Studios.
Yes.
And we just gave them an email asking if they would work on our song, and we worked out a price and we got it done.
It was
nice.
Super, super nice, super professional. Knew exactly what vibe we were going for.
Oh yeah, he's amazing.
That's good when somebody gets it, right?
Oh yeah,
It just makes it seamless.
that's why I went with him too, because we got like, you know, the spacier parts in our music, and we also got like the tight, heavy stuff, and we knew he's someone who could handle like the thick psychedelic walls of modulation that we have, plus just the, you know, tight groovy riffs.
Makes sense.
Nice.
Chris, you got anything else?
I have one question. So, how do you pronounce Chicago?
I kind of do it in a subconsciously lazy way with the sh. So I say Chicago a lot, but
Yeah.
it's like a mixture between ch and sh, like Chicago.
Really, I just say Chicago. I never even thought about that. Why?
Right, it kind of
Hold
messes
on.
with your.
Yeah.
Why is that even a thing? I never thought about it. It's Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just
Everyone I talk to, though, says it slightly differently. It's like no one really knows how to say it. That's the weird thing.
We're from the suburbs too, so you got to take us with like a grain of salt. Like,
Right, we have a slanted view on it. I know the Chicago crowd is definitely large out here.
Interesting. I didn't even know there was a
There's some
Chicago
of those.
controversy.
Yeah, no, I heard you say, so earlier, because you said Chicago, and I was like, is it cha? And then you said Chicago, and I was like, is it sha? And then you're like, it's a combination of the Chicago. And I was like, well, what is it? I don't know.
One, you got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I got. All right, that's awesome.
Thank you, my friends, for taking the
Thanks,
time. I
guys.
appreciate it. Be well.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us. Love y'all. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Take care. Be well.
Keep it safe out there, gentlemen.